Hello, beautiful people. It is time. It's time. Set Free Sisterhood is here. Another Sunday, 7 o'clock. It's time. It's time. It's time. Listen, we are live right now, and I want you guys to drop in the chat if you're ready for tonight's convo. So drop in the chat, I'm ready. Drop in the chat, I'm ready. Drop in the chat, I'm ready. We are live,
We
and it is
ready. We
for you
ready.
to drop it in the chat that you're ready for tonight's conversation. Drop it in the chat. Listen, because tonight is going to be great. Just like any other Sunday nights with Set Free Sisterhood, the topics that we will discuss, the things that we'll be talking about. Get ready. Get ready. So listen, go ahead and drop I'm ready in the chat. Drop I'm ready in the chat. Put some fire emojis. Fire us up. Like, let us know y'all here. Let us know y'all listening. Let us know that you guys appreciate what we're bringing here. Just go ahead and drop I'm ready in the chat. Drop I'm ready in the chat. I know, some people probably busy. Y'all might just catch the replay, but you could still say you're ready. Are you ready? Are you ready
Are
for the
you
conversation
ready?
tonight? Like, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
We ready.
So,
We ready.
all right, all right, all right. Looks like my ladies are here. And listen, guys, like I said, Set Free Sisterhood here again with another episode, ready to set you free. Let's get set free tonight. Listen,
Ready.
tonight's episode, listen, like I said, put some fire in the chat. Put if you're
Let's
on,
go.
you're ready, get ready for this conversation. Listen, tonight's episode, we're talking about the lies that you carry. Who told you that? Who told you that?
Oh, child, who told you
Who
that?
told you? Oh my
Where you
goodness.
get that from?
Where you get that from? Yes, that's it right there. Go ahead and take it on over with.
Listen, so many times we walk through life and people just be telling us stuff, honey, that we don't need to hear. We don't need to hear. Okay. People be projecting their fears, their insecurities onto us. They be projecting what they wish they was, who they wish they was when they look at us, and it comes out of their mouth. And it's so important to guard your ear gates, to guard your eye gates, to guard all of these gates, because you get to believe in what them people be saying. You get to believe
Mm,
in what grandma them done said about you. You get to believe in what people who even don't even know you done said about you. And it's like, who told you that? Who told you you wasn't worth it, boo? Who told you you wasn't that girl? Who told you you wasn't that guy? Who told you that greater that's in you than he that is in the world? Who told you that? Who told you you won't go on and prosper and do well? Who told you that
mm-hmm.
you won't be successful? Huh? Who told you that? Because that is not true. That's not true. That is not true. You got to go back to these things like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is that true? Father God, Father, is that true? Because I have walked through so many times where people have told me that did not match my inner knowing, my inner being. People have told me things that I tried, to accept it and be like, well, maybe I am this. Maybe I'm not that. Maybe I am this. And it did not match. Who told you that?
It's so good, so good. So we can, I can think back, and you could just think about different. I think about friends, I think about family members, I think about your parents, I think about all that. When you're a child, even coming from childhood into your adolescent, teenage years, all the way into, adulthood. Sometimes, like you said, people are projecting things onto you is because they have a limited belief. But let me tell you something. There is what you think or what you may feel about me. I don't have to accept that or walk in that. And
At
so
all.
many times as a child, being told some things, oh, your daddy ain't nothing and you ain't gonna be nothing. You know how many parents not told their children that? You know how many people have, just said negative things, not even knowing the impact that it carries and how it can just really transfer from one stage all the way to the next so far in your life and in your years. And if you don't go back and deal with those things, how it can really affect you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it can like
And
I
we
know
have to start
this
holding
girl
these.
all the time. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and we have to start holding these people accountable because you always hear, oh, that's just how your auntie is, child. That's just how your grandma is. That's just how your cousin them is. No, 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 no. You not. That's just not how they is with me. Listen, you have got to watch your mouth when you talking to me. Watch the way you talking to me. Watch the things that you throwing my way. You have got to watch that, and it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to step up and say, "Listen, that ain't me, boo. We can talk about you now. If you need a friend to talk to, if you need a friend to talk to, I'm here. But that's not me. That's you. That's you. And
Yeah.
what you're doing, you're projecting. That's what you're doing. Your inner demons, your inner dark seekers, your and whatever that you fighting with, you trying to make that be my struggle, and it's not.
Mhm.
That part, that part,
So
that part. So
even when
so
it comes to holding people accountable, like how do you hold somebody accountable who's older than you, who somebody who you're supposed to be respecting, somebody who literally is supposed to be telling you your identity, is helping you figure out who you are, but rather than helping you, they sitting here giving you all this negativity, telling you everything that you're not, possibly so you don't know who you are. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with people who tell you stuff that just didn't match, that just didn't identify with what you knew to be true about yourself? I should talk to the people, child.
See, this, I have struggled with this for most of my life until actually recently. I have I've always been different from my family members. I've always been what feels like the black sheep. Being around loud, a lot of negativity. I've always been optimistic, had a positive mindset. I always knew, that there was more than what I've seen and what I've experienced. But throughout my life, like, okay, I had parents speaking negative things, like it was literally, we can get cussed out like a dog, and then
mhm.
never even feeling or understanding what love actually was and wanting more. And that actually hindered how my identity, how I saw myself, the things that I did. It was literally controlling my life for most of my life. I'm now coming out of that, but I dealt with it, by I had to learn how to stop being a people pleaser and start ignoring. I had to figure out how to move past, the hurt and the pain that came with it, because let's be honest, it's extremely painful when people are saying things about you or saying things to you that aren't true, and that are based on their perspective and their life experiences, which they throw off on you. um I went through a situation where I had a parent who basically, I kind of stopped talking to them for a little bit because I was called something that I never was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll just say it. I was called a hoe, and I was never out here doing that. And it was
Yes.
literally like, that was like, it hurt me so bad to my core, to like, who I am, my character, and I can understand it was like throwing your life experiences off on me, and it's projecting. But I had to learn how to move past the things that people were even saying or saying to me in order to heal. I had to fight for my healing. I had to fight for, not I had to know that sometimes you'll never get an apology, or sometimes
Yeah.
you have to be the bigger person. Sometimes you just have to move past these situations and these things that are happening to you, but ignore the negativity so that you're able to heal and move forward and become who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, Shia, I love, you know what? You just said something, and you said that the person that said what they said to you about calling you a hoe, right? You said because they know you, or they're supposed to know you, so you would think that they wouldn't say something like that. But because their experiences in life at some point or another, maybe they had those tendencies, or maybe, like you said, that projection of what they were projecting on you. It's like, but wait, do you really know me? Even as your child, sometimes your parents don't even really know you. Like
Yeah.
I can remember I can remember when I was coming up, and it wasn't just family that was saying this. It was like my other peers. They always used to tell me, "Oh, you talk white," and I'm like, "Talk white? What is that?" You mean I
Yeah.
talk proper? I use proper grammar? Absolutely, I do. So people don't even think about how those things could make you think that something's wrong with you because that is just who you are, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that's where those identity issues began to take place and begin to fester in you, coming from you a young age, and you start like, oh, so wait, I need to talk like them. No, no, no. I
Mhm.
need to talk like me. I need to be who I am. Because, honey, in Psalms 139 and 14 say, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That means my identity is not your identity. I am not who you say I am. I am who God says I am. And if I'm different from you and I'm set apart, then guess what? I'm gonna accept being different and set apart because I'm not doing what y'all do. I'm not talking how y'all talk because this is the way that I talk. And it's like we get so caught up in the feelings and the emotions of what people say to us, and then we start to believe like, oh, is what they said really true?
Yeah.
Am I gonna really live up to what they said? Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No, 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 no. That's not who I am. That's not me.
Because I guess
Yeah.
we finna dive right on into this.
Yeah, come on, get on into this thing.
I'm ready to deep sea dive, girl. Let's
Let's
go.
let's go.
Let's
Because
go.
everything that you have said, like I have experienced. I've always been the weird child. I was always been the different child. So even recently, a comment, people get familiar with you. They get familiar with what they think that they know about you.
Yeah.
They never
Mm-hmm,
really know you. Your
mm-hmm,
family, let's be honest, no one actually fully knows anyone.
Yeah.
You
mm-hmm.
barely even know yourself and who you are.
I'm
And
still figuring
throughout
it out day by day.
literally through this transition, I turned into a different person day and night from what everyone knew. But even, it used to irk my nerves when people would say, something would happen and someone would say, I know this person, they would never do that. But in the back of my mind, I was like, no one really knows me. So how would you even say that I wouldn't be able to do nothing? You
Mm-hmm.
you you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what that person does or what's in that person's head. So how can you say that person, just because you know that person would never do something but you never really know that person. You know what that person gives off. You know what you see from a few minutes of being around them, because there's 24 hours in a day. There's 365 days in a year. You ain't always around. There's even
Yes.
those times where you are around and you don't know the thoughts that's going on in my head. You only know what's coming out of my mouth. And then are you reading between the lines? So you never really know anyone. But throughout my transition, recently I went through a phase where I had to go back home and I'm around all these negative people and these things that are going on. And I'm being told, because you don't act like us anymore, you don't need to come around. Because you don't do the things that we're doing, you don't drink, you don't gamble, you don't smoke, you don't cuss, you don't need to be coming around here. And that ate me alive. That ate me alive, because I'm like, dang, am I really the bad person? Am I really the bad person because I don't act like y'all? I like, and it took me through it. It took me aback, but also that was God strengthening me and showing me you are different. You
Mhm.
are the change that this family needs. You are the change that these people need to see, to know that there is more. Even if my life doesn't look like what my family has wanted it to look like, even if I haven't done the things that people have said that I need to do, I know where I'm going. I
Yeah.
know what God has told me and what God has promised me. So I had to put away the noise that was in my head, the noise of the voices that are around me that were literally condemning me because I'm different.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you know,
And,
it's funny because that you say that because I want to go back a little bit because when me and Ebony was on the phone the other day and she was out doing her thing. Let me just start by saying you ladies look beautiful, honey. Chef's kiss.
so
Y'all
do
doing that, okay?
you.
Listen, so me and Ebony was on the phone the other day, and she out being her CEO self, and she was showing properties to people, and some of the people who came to see some of her properties were people who she knew from growing up, and one thing that they did was they straightened themselves up before they got out of the car and presented themselves to Miss Ebony, honey. Like they were smoking, they were doing all of this stuff, and it's like before they like went up to her, they were like, "Well, we know we gotta." They were spraying perfume, you know, they were doing whatever they had to do to make themselves ready and presentable for Ebony, because what they were used to doing, that when they're not around her, she was the order. She set the tone. And sometimes God will show people to you, not only so you can see who they are, but you can see who you're not. You can see everything that he's calling you up to. You can see everything that you're becoming. So when you come to me, yeah, you need to self-check yourself. When you come to me, you need to make sure that you're coming correct. When you come to me, you need to make sure that you're adjusting your tone. These are boundaries, and boundaries are safe and okay to have. You set the standard to come on up a little higher. You set the standard and the tone for the people who you may have been looking like, you may have been talking like, you may have been acting like, but guess what? I've been changed, I've been renewed, I've been delivered, and you
Yeah.
can too. I'm an invitation to better. I'm an invitation to more. I'm an invitation to show you what my Father can do. I'm an invitation of the Master's work.
Yes. And you know what?
And this
In
falls
spite
into
of,
the knowing identity, right? Because when you're in the in between, you start to feel like, dang, well, is it me? Like, you know, why they don't want to be around me? Why they don't want to do that? Why they don't want to do that? But the truth of the matter is, you aren't no longer who you used to be, and that's okay. You're changing, you growing, boo. You blossoming, you're springing forth. Hello, huh? I don't want to be the same. I don't want to be stuck in a rat race. I don't want to keep going in the same cycles. That's not what my God called me to be. I have to ascend. I have to come on up a little higher. Y'all sitting here playing Ring Around the Rosie, honey. We ain't five, huh?
and in spite of what was spoken over you, what was being said, what was being discussed about who you should be and who you are, that shouldn't even matter. And again,
Yeah.
and you said it clearly. You said those boundaries. And when you start to carry yourself and present yourself not of what they thought of you or what they had spoken over you, but you have overcome and ascended of what was said and spoken over you, then you can walk in that thing like, honey, when I walk in the room, I demand respect. When I
I have
walk in the room,
arrived.
I have arrived. So it was like those women that I was showing the places to or whatever they was doing, handle their business, they felt enough respect for me that when they got out of the car, they had them sprayed themselves all down and did all that. Because, oh no, I can't go in front of Miss Ebony like that. You know, this her business, this her word. I received that with grace, because it's like, oh my gosh, they have respect for me
Yeah.
because I set the tone about who I am. You
Yeah.
set the tone about who you are, how you're walking, and what you're walking into.
Yeah.
And when you do that and not allow what was spoken over you to control you, that's when you win. That's the
Yeah.
win-win right there. What you said about me when I was a child doesn't matter. How fat you said I would be and how nobody would want me because I was fat don't matter. Because at the end of the day, I gotta know who I am.
Yeah.
Those words, you know, the quote back in the days used to be like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. That's a lie. That's a
Yeah.
lie, because
Yes, it
words
is.
do hurt. Because those words that are spoken over you, you will carry. And if you don't deal with it, you will carry it from one situation to the next, from one situation to the next. I'm not living in the words that somebody negatively spoke over me. That's not my truth. That's not who I am. I won't accept that. I'm going to
Yeah.
overcome that. I'm going to know that what was spoken over me at this age, maybe they were coming from a hurt place and were projecting. Maybe they were dealing with issues that we didn't even know about or wasn't aware of. So seeing you walk in your boldness, seeing you walk in your beauty, seeing you walk in, you know, being fearfully and wonderfully made might just be a little intimidating to other people. But let me tell you something. It's not about you. It's about me. It's about how I feel about self. So those words that you thought were projecting, I'm going to send them, return to sender.
Yeah, boomerang.
Return to sender.
Boomerang. And let's talk, let's dig a little bit into that, because growing up, I remember the first thing that came to my body was hips. The first thing that came to my body was hips, honey. If I ain't had nothing else, I had hips. And let me just say, right, I remember being in high school, and I had that like slim frame, right, but the real wide hips. And I remember this guy said that I looked like I swallowed a hanger child, and the whole football hallway laughed at me. But they ain't laughing now. They ain't laughing now. No, but let me tell you, listen, I was in church one time, and girl, the old church ladies, ooh, they used to hate to see me coming around that table for offering. You hear me? They used to hate to see me coming, because when I used to walk, I walked with a swish in my hips. And it's nothing that I was doing purposefully. I beat myself up so bad when I was younger because so many people was like, "Oh, you too grown. Oh, she walked with a twist on her hip. She walking too grown. Oh, she wearing heels. Oh, she wearing makeup. She thinks she, it was all of these things." And so I used to go home crying, and I used to literally practice walking, trying to walk straight like a refrigerator. I used to practice trying to walk in another way from what I originally authentically walked like, right? And these same people who used to say, "Oh, she's too grown, oh, she weird, oh, she did, oh, she that," guess what? God had a calling for me, even at that young age, for the ministry that I hold today, to help women become a woman, to
Yes.
help women come into their femininity, to help women walk boldly into who God created and designed them to be, to help them be bold, to help them be confident, but to help them still look like a lady. It's okay with looking like a lady. It's okay with putting on some makeup sometime. But I know we want to be modest. I know we love God. I know we need to do all that stuff. But honey, it's okay to present yourself in a way that makes you feel good. It's okay to smell good. It's okay to lotion up them legs, sis, and lotion up that body. It's okay to have a little glow to you and put on some shimmer. It's okay. And that
Yes.
was my ministry, to teach these young girls how to be a lady. We don't have women role modeling real women. Listen, the women nowadays, honey, it's either kind of like you say, she either you a hoe or you a whole saint. You a nun. It's no kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing
Like,
but
come on now. God
queen.
called me to bridge in the gap.
Come
God called
on.
me to bridge in the gap. I want to be a woman of God. I want to be in this ministry. I want to be modest. I want to cover up my body. But honey, don't you dare play with me. She is a sexy mamma jamma. You hear me? That's just who
Yes.
I am. That's just what I represent. And I walk boldly into that. I know my design. I know my purpose. And guess what? It's okay, because that may not be your purpose. That may not
Yes.
be yours. And only
Yes.
I can do what I can do. It's only one me. It's only one me. And it took me a long time to come into that. It took me a long time to realize this is what God called me to. And He was preparing me even in the midst of my haters. He was preparing me even in the midst of all the people who had something to say. Honey, all them stones that they was doing my way, I built this beautiful house.
Yes.
On.
Yes. Yes.
And you'll never
So
I
it's like
love
be
it.
enough
sometimes
for
these
people.
same people who are projecting things on you, they just calling out who you are. They just calling out who you are. Don't worry about it, boo. You need it for your growth. Don't worry about it, boo. You need it to be able to drive this car. It's like fuel in your tank. Don't worry about it, boo. Boo, it's giving you speed, huh? It's giving you speed. You got to move along this journey, honey. You got to, first we start out walking and we're not getting weary, right? So we could run. We could run and we can soar like eagles with wings. You got to get somewhere. You need oil in your tank. So what you think? God is just going to make everything comfortable? You think He ain't going to send some haters your way? You think He ain't going to send some adversary? You think He ain't going to send some people trying to cut you down? Come on, boo. This is what we know.
Yes.
This is what we know. And this is why we have to walk into the fullness and know who our Father is. Because when we know who our Father is, what He has done, what He has been through, how dare you think your life ain't going to mimic who the Creator? How dare you think your life isn't going to mimic the Creator? How
Mm-hmm.
dare you think you're not going to go through nothing? How dare you think people not going to talk about you?
Come on. Come on. Come
He
on.
set the tone. He was the example. You
Mm-hmm.
need that. You need that, because if everything went your way, you wouldn't really know what greatness lies on the inside of you. If everything went your way, you wouldn't know how strong you are. Let's just face the facts. Let's just face the facts. It was, thank God for calling me a hoe, because I knew I wasn't. Huh? That's you. That ain't me, boo. That's you with them 18 kids, huh? Yeah. Them old women used to have them. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Them old women used to have them 20, 50, 11 kids, honey. And grandpa was a rolling stone. Huh? But you were around here calling me the hoe. You was pregnant at 14, huh? Come on. And this is no judgment. This is no judgment. But what I'm saying is that when you go to church, when you're around these older people, you expect them to help you up. You expect them to lead the way because they've been there. They've been there.
Ooh.
Don't sit here and give me all of that like you wasn't the same 15-year-old with
Holier
these
than
short skirts.
thou.
Don't sit here and give me all that like you wasn't over there at the juke joint with grandpa switching them hips. Don't sit there and give me all of that. Don't do that. And that's what I don't like. That's what I
Hold
don't like.
on.
So, baby, I got to bridge the gap.
Hold on, sis. hold on, sis. You just said something about the church. Now you said something. You know, when you're younger, right, and you go into a church and you see the elders there, and not necessarily saying they have to be old, right, but older than
Right.
you consider them an elder because you know, and maybe even somebody that you could look up to. But why? I just don't understand for anything in me. But why do some of these women be feeling like the younger ones is in competition with them or something and snoop their nose up? Listen, I'm coming in here to receive from God and hopefully be able to get a little bit of mentorship or something, thinking that you somebody that I can look up to when you ain't even nobody I can look up to because you jealous. You got a whole Jezebel spirit off up in there. You got a whole spirit of jealousy in there where we can't even go where church is supposed to be the hospital for us to come and be healed, where us to
Right.
come and to be nurtured and try to grow in understanding it in God's word. But you got these people want to be so judgmental because the way you look,
Yeah.
because the way you shape. That ain't
Yeah.
the way to do it. That ain't how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but
Even the
okay,
experiences.
I'm too holy. I'm too holy. I'm holy. I never was in the streets. I never did wrong. I never did bad. So when you come in here, I can't even really help you with none of that because I ain't never did that. You a lie and the truth ain't in you. That's the
But this is
thing.
why the
We need to be
perimeters
able
of
to
the church are
see.
changing.
Yes.
Come on.
This is
And
why
we
the
need to be
church
able
is no
to
longer
see
just
people.
a building inside these four walls. That's why God is calling us up and out to
Up
preach the gospel, to
and out.
evangelize, to be the church,
Yes.
because religion has got to die. That spirit that's hovering over churches has got to die. Only the sick need a doctor, huh? Only
Yeah.
the sick need a doctor. They're the ones in need of a doctor. Who are we? Who are we really serving? We're supposed to be going out serving the hoes, huh? We
Yes.
supposed to be going out serving these men who have these problems, serving these women who need God. They need something different. They need a new taste in their mouth. They need to smell a new aroma. They need to see another possibility. They need to see another outcome. We're supposed to be the church.
Yes.
How are we the church if we're pushing people out the church? Where are
Yes.
they
Come
gonna go
on.
to? This is supposed to be home. I'm supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
home for you. And let me just say this. This doesn't mean that and this is the thing, because a lot of times people don't like to be corrected. It's going to come with correction. It is
Yes.
going to come with correction. But what I'm trying to say is, baby, we got to get them in first. We got to get them through the door later. We not worried about how you look. We not worried about what your trauma, your tongue. We not worried about all that. Come on in, baby. Come on in. And as I feed you, as you get this food, as you grow, listen, we'll worry about the wardrobe later.
That's
We'll worry about
right.
all that other stuff later. Come on in this house.
And the closer
Mm-hmm.
that you get with
Mm-hmm.
God, God will start revealing the things that you need to change. Not
Yes.
necessarily men. God will start to convict you
Yes.
through your relationship and intimacy with Him. So people
Yes.
try to push their narrative, try to push their thoughts and opinions onto someone who they don't even know God. You are the first encounter that they really have with Him most of the time. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
God gives us spiritual encounters, but most people, let's be honest, don't know their first experience with Him is not a spiritual encounter. Most people don't even know what that is, even to have an intimate relationship with Him. They're introduced to Him through people, through their family, through religion, through tradition. So if you're not even giving them a chance to even get their foot into the door in order to even get to know who He is, they're then thinking the things that you are doing to them is how He treats
And that's
them, how He
Yes.
sees them. So that even interferes their way and their thoughts of Him. That hinders their relationship with God. You're supposed to bring them in and bring them to Him, not to
Yeah.
you, not to your thoughts, not to the box that you even put God in. And I want to
Yeah.
say this story I had, when God started this real intimate relationship with me. God has had me being vulnerable and sharing, different parts of my story. So God even had me, share at a women's meeting one night, share, I was being condemned. I was being convicted. I'll just put it out there. I had been celibate for a while, and I had a slip up the night before. And God said,
Talk about it.
God
Talk
said,
about it.
He said,
I done
share,
slipped
because
up.
they need to hear this. People need to see this. So we were even talking along this topic, but because they were holding back and I was vulnerable, I shared. I'm just sitting here. Y'all hitting my heart. Y'all hitting me. God hitting me through this because I had a slip up. and I'm going to share it. Yes, I was good for a while back then, but I had a slip up. But I'll testify too, 2 years celibate, okay? 2 years after that celibate. But let's just, like, we're human. And they literally did, like, I got condemned, like, oh, don't share that, don't say that. But this is what the topic is about. So why should I not share this? To say that I'm human, to say that I'm vulnerable, to say that I'm not perfect, but God is condemning me himself. This topic, I know this topic, he put this topic for me so that I can get back on track.
Right.
But
And
because
that
you
just
don't want
shows.
to, you can go.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but because you don't want to, you're holier than thou. You've never been through anything. You can share with me the things that you've been through. But when it comes to me, as even the one who, voice carries, the one who God is using to be vulnerable, to not, hold back my story and my testimony, you want to put him in a box. You want to shut up the mouths of those who he is even using in order to be changed and create change and set those atmospheres for those who don't know him to come in.
Yeah, that's true, because you the only Bible some people will ever read. You're the only Bible some people will ever read. They looking at you, boo. They looking at how you do it, how you speak, how you talking about Jesus. You're the gateway. You're the bridge that's leading them. You're the only Bible some people will ever read. And how are we to know? How do I introduce you to a Jesus who seems unreachable? A lot of times in the church, we make Jesus unreachable. We say in order to have a relationship with Jesus, in order to know Jesus, you have to be perfect.
And that's
You have to be free from sin. We condemn. We condemn. And that's what the enemy does. The enemy condemns. The enemy condemns. Do you know what condemnation is? When somebody condemns you, that means there's no way out. You going to hell on the fast track. You going to hell on the fast track. The Holy Spirit is supposed to convict. When you sit up in church, this is why it's so important to hear, right? Because through my testimony, through my story, I'm telling you how God found me. I'm telling you how I found God. I'm telling you how he introduced me to himself. I'm telling you what I've been through and how he brought me out. I'm telling you how he made a way for me in the middle of my mess, in the middle of my sin, in the middle of my confusion, in the middle of my heartache, my pain, I'm telling you what God has done for me. If I don't tell my story, how you gonna know, baby, that you're not the only one going through it? How you gonna know that God can reach way down and pick you up? How are you going to know? How are you going to bridge in this gap to this untouchable Jesus? How? The Holy Spirit will clean you up on the way. He will clean you up on the way. That's why it's a relationship. That's why it's a journey. This life is called a journey of self-discovery, because you constantly learning who you are. You taking off pieces of you. You're unraveling. You peeling this off, this layer that you no longer serves you, this layer that you don't need. Oh, you're realizing, okay, that's me. I'm going to take that. I'm going to put that on my back. I'm going to carry that. You're discovering yourself. You're discovering who you're becoming. You're discovering who God created and predestined for you to be. But how are you going to walk in this journey and go along with this discovery if you're introduced to an untouchable Jesus?
But come on, who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that? But hold on, I remember somebody had told me before, and this was when I'm gonna say I was lukewarm. We'll say this, like, let's just say coming from church on a Sunday, right? And this in particular person knew how to just get up under my skin. And honey, before you know it, I've been unaccustomed, right? Thank you, Lord, for deliverance. Thank you, Lord, for fixing this mouth. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. But let me tell you something. The person used to always say, oh, you just got out of church and you cussing. Oh, you this and you that. Like, as if God is not a forgiver. Like, they're acting like you cannot, like, I'm not perfect. So please don't ever get confused or think that I don't fall short, because it says in scripture, we all fall short to the glory of God. So let me tell you something. Perfection is not here. Now, the boundaries now that I have, that I did not have back then, you can't even say nothing like that to me and think it's going to move me, because it's not. Nothing that you're going to do is going to be able to move me because I know who I am now. Before, you'll always come to the defense of your walk, or you're going to come to the defense of what you believe, or you're going to come to the defense of what somebody just said. No. We're not doing that. We're going to learn how to, okay.
Yeah.
I'm an okay type of person now. So if something's being said that, I don't too much care to agree with, it's okay. And I keep it moving. I don't even touch that surface because, honey, nothing you just said can even penetrate me. Nothing you just said can move me. So sometimes people don't understand that when they're just projecting how they feel, or you're projecting something like that on me because you don't even believe that God will forgive your sins. You're projecting that on me because you think that you got to be perfect in order to seek God, and that's not the truth. Who told you that? And that's the problem. Nobody wants to get into their word and get the full understanding of what they need and who God is and who they are in him. They want to walk around it. They want to tiptoe around it. Nah, baby, open up that book and see what God said about you. Because he said some things about you. But you got to believe that. So nobody can come at you sideways and you be wavering and you be moved. You can't move me. You can't.
Yeah. That's the truth. That's what happens. Like, we just get into and let me just say this. Grace covers you. So a
Yes.
lot of times people think that because you're talking about God, because you love God, and I know me personally, I was very loud in my sin, honey. I was very loud in my sin. Every video I posted, I was out in these streets. I was having me a good time. I was doing what I wanted to do. I was living the life I wanted to live. So you got to be one more fool. If you
Come
think
on.
that now Grace doesn't save me, and you think I'm not going to be loud and proud about my Father, you're
Come on.
crazy. You're
Come
crazy.
on.
I always been bold. I was bold in sin. So guess what? Now I'm gonna be bold, saved in grace. Okay. So it's not
Yes.
that we're perfect, but God covers you. He shields you. He wraps you up. And the way he wraps you up, you look like you ain't been touched. You look like you ain't been through what you're going through. You look like you went through the fire and ain't come out smelling like smoke. You don't look like what you've been through. So that's a look of glory. That's a look of what to the carnal eye, it looks like perfection. It's not perfection though. It's not perfection. And I can tell, I could tell your belief of God based on your experience of God. You have a limited perception because you have a limited
Yes.
experience. You haven't experienced enough of God to know how his grace and mercy always abound. You haven't experienced enough of God to know how he can change, heal, and deliver. Hello? You have a limited experience. Therefore, you have a limited perspective. So when you're looking at me, you looking at me like I'm all perfect, like I got it all together, and I don't. I just make it look good, and it's God that make it look good.
But let me say something else too. Like, something the Holy Spirit just brought into my head. Like, sometimes when you're, you just being your normal self. Again, who the lies that you carry and who told you that? I remember somebody saying, "Oh, you too friendly. You too friendly, right? Too friendly." Like, no, honey. The problem is when you have a good heart and you have good heart posture, you tend to attract people, and they come because they know that you are good. They come because they know that you're trustworthy, you're likable, and all that stuff. So it'd be like too friendly. No, because you know what? I'm operating out of agape love. When you operate out of love, there's never a too friendly, because God says, love thy neighbor like you love thyself. So if I love me, why can't I love you? Where is too friendly come in at? Of course, you got to set boundaries with people. You can't let everybody in like they're your best friend. Of course not. But at the end of the day, that's what's wrong with women right now. It's because you don't know how to embrace another woman. You don't know how to compliment another woman. You don't know how to just, hey, sis, I see you. Just let her know that she's being seen. Because sometimes that's what women need. That's what we need to know, that I see you, sis. I see you. Even if nobody else acknowledges you, I see you. And you don't know how that simple compliment can change and transform how somebody sees themselves or views themselves.
Yeah.
That's important.
That's
That's
so
important for us to be able to embrace each other, to be able, you too friendly. So what? Who said that I only can have one friend? Who said I only can have two friends? Who said that I could not be community? Who said that I couldn't be of support to other women? Who
yeah,
said? What's wrong with that? The only thing that is wrong with the
yeah,
person who thinks
yeah.
that you can't be friends with other people.
Yes.
You got an issue, you got an internal issue, something that you're going to have to deal with, something that you're going to have to dig deep to resolve. That's an issue all by itself on its own that only you can control. You
Yeah.
need to dig deeper so that you can really figure out, hey, what's going on with me? Why I can't, I can't keep no friends. Honey, look in the mirror, ask God to
Mm-hmm.
reveal it to you. He'll reveal you to you. Ask
Mm-hmm.
him to help you work on those things. It's the
Mm-hmm.
trauma and the hurt that caused you to feel that way. It's
Yeah.
something that's festering on the inside of you that caused you to be like that. Who told you that? Who told you that you can't be friendly? Who told you that? Who told you that?
Come on.
Because that ain't the truth. That's a lie. You got to be evaluating what people be saying. You got to take it up here and really just spin that thing around a few times
Process
and
it,
be
babe.
like, yeah, no, I'm
Process.
not going to sit with that. I'm going to keep it moving.
And I've
And
received
that's
that
why
my
I'm so
entire life.
big. Yes, like that's why I'm so big on like women support and like supporting women, telling women, girl, you look good. You did it. Because even when it comes to certain women like myself, people always think like, oh, you always get compliments. You don't. You don't. Nobody say it because I don't know if they scared because this is the face that I have. And trust me, I try to change my face so many times. This is just how I look, but I'm nothing like how I look. So I grew up with the perception like, oh, she looked mean. She looked that, she looked that, she looked that. And that's not who I was. That's not who my heart was. That's not who my character ever showed itself to be. And it's like I'm always a person when people get to know me, they like, oh, thought you was
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh, I thought you was this and that, you know? So it's like these compliments are important because you do not receive them. The main people who you be thinking like, oh, I just know she look good. Oh, I just know she knows she. No,
Mm-hmm.
tell her she looks good. She needs it. Tell your sister, you know what? Listen, I like them shoes, honey. You walking today.
Yes.
I like that necklace. Girl, listen, that makeup eats down. You hear me? Like, tell your sister, compliment your sister, girl. Because a lot of times we cry these tears. We going through all of this stuff, and guess what? The makeup is just a covering. Huh?
Yep.
The makeup is just a covering. I need that compliment. I need to know that you see me. I need to know that all of my hard work is not going in vain. Come, open up your mouth and say something.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So see, okay, I'm trying to figure out where I want to go from here.
Just come
So
on with
one,
it.
the
Come
too
on with
friendly.
it. Come on.
I'm all good,
So one,
girl.
the too friendly, because I have received that my entire life. And if you were just to see me, I have the resting face, okay? But as soon as
Right.
you say something to me, all you see is cheeks and smiles,
You hear
okay? And
me?
literally, and I have received so much, especially from family members. They will definitely say you're too friendly. You let people in too much. But
Yeah.
by me being friendly, by me showing my real true personality, people are able to see, my light. So I don't even have to do nothing, but they're able to see my light. As soon as you start talking to me, oh, I turn into a whole different person. Especially when you talk
Mm-hmm.
about God, baby. I can tell we can have a conversation for a while, okay? But through that, it has brought me, through being friendly, it has brought me support like I've never had from family. I have literally, I have created a family and people who support me through just mere interactions with people, through just being personable and open and up to people, about something, or just complimenting someone. Like, those are the people who I have, they have turned from friends to family. um by me opening up, by me being friendly, because family would say, oh, you're too friendly, but y'all not doing nothing, y'all not helping me, y'all not supporting me. But these friends are the ones who are, like, helping me along the way. And even when I met y'all, it came from what? Okay, with Ebony, God just kept showing me Ebony, and it was just like a click. And it was literally from a compliment, and then it came, God just kept making us bump into each other. When it came to me and Whitney just stood up and opened her mouth, and we were like,
We was like,
"Who is this girl?" Okay. And after the event, we went up to her and was like, I went up to her and I was like, I don't know who you are, but you are powerful. Like, you are strong. Like, all you had to do was open up your mouth. Who are you? What do you do? Then Ebony came over and it was literally like her and Ebony. I just saw them together. Okay. I just saw them together. Okay. But they have the same character, like mannerisms when it comes to the power in the voice. How Set Free Sisterhood even came about was God gave me a vision. God showed me these two women just talking to people, and all I saw was bum, bum, one talking, bum, one talking, bum. Okay, that is how this came about. God told me to help Whitney. So I was too friendly because I went up to this girl not even knowing her, telling her, God, what do you do? Who are you? So God is telling me I'm supposed to help you. Mind you, I didn't even know how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But just by me and doing what God was telling me to do, by being too friendly, this opened up a world that, God was waiting for it to happen, for divine alignment, for this to even come about, for the things that we are working on in the background, for the promises and the things that are on our line that are supposed to get us to our destiny. God was waiting for that. So we had to be too friendly for even this to manifest, for even, to gain sisters who are able to help you along the line, along your journey, who are able to pour into you, to help you, to be there with you when you need to cry, to be there with you when you need to pray, just by being too friendly. I'm going to just say, you have to know also who you're going in front of. You have to know the circles and the people and watch people also to see how they even interact with other people. You have to know your environments, because even, where I'm from, a lot of people are under this spell where it's you're too friendly and everyone goes against each other just by a look, or just by knowing someone who associates with someone. You're automatically put on this mean girl application. I have to be this mean girl to protect myself, or so that I don't get caught up in the drama and stuff. But you have to know and know your identity. You have to know more about yourself. You have to heal. You have to see or even observe people and give people a chance. You don't have to block off the world. You don't have to block off what could potentially be your help, what could potentially be your sisters. You don't have to block them off. Sometimes you need to be too friendly in order to open up that door of access that you need to get through for your next.
Yes,
and I just want to say, listen, when we met, for y'all who watching, when we all met, honey, we was in that car for about an hour just talking. We was just talking. We was just talking, and we all have
They
been
kicked us
in.
out the church.
They kicked us out the church. They kicked us out the church, okay? And we took the party to the car because it was something about when we came together. Me and Ebony is literally just alike. And Shia is like the baby sister. She is like the baby sister. She like the glue, and it's just like we talked and we've been inseparable ever since. Ever since. And I want to talk about that because it's kind of like you have to be okay. I released a video the other day and said that God kept giving me the word pliable, right? And that means to be flexible, to be open to the instructions and how God is moving in this season. You have got to be okay with the places that he's leading you to, the divine connections that he's introducing you to the people that he's putting in the midst of you. He's aligning your steps. My God, he's ordering and directing your path. He's bringing things into fruition. He's manifesting his promises. His promises are yes and amen. I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. The Bible says now it springs forth. Now it springs forth. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. Now it springs forth. So it is so important that you be in the right place at the right time. It is so important that you be obedient, and not just obedient, but obedient immediately. Obedient immediately. God said it, I heard it, so I do it. God said it, I heard it, so I do it. And because of my obedience, because of Ebony's obedience, because of Ashia's obedience, we all ended up being at the right place at the right time, and it's been building ever since. So I thank God for ordering my steps. I thank God for his divine timing. I thank God for his divine alignment. I thank God for the people he took out of my life so he could make room for y'all. I thank him.
Because who told you that?
Who told you
Who told
that?
you that?
Who
Who
told you
told
you
you
can't have
that?
sisters that's gonna be your ride or dies?
Come
Who told you
on.
you can't have girls that's gonna pray for you but still cover you when you up late at night and you feel like getting a drink? Who told you when you feel like cussing somebody out you can't call your sisters? Who told you that? Who told
Mhm.
you that you don't need nobody? You bad all by yourself. Who told you that you had to be alone? Who told you that?
Yes, because that's not the way it has to be. It
No.
listen, we have to get the understanding of how do you know the person that God is sending you or wanting you to connect with, that's not your destiny helper, that's going to push you into your next.
Right.
You don't know what that relationship is going to be like. So that whole lie that we are carrying around, oh, no new friends, oh, you too friendly, that is a tactic of the enemy, because you know what the enemy like to do? Keep you isolated so you can't grow, so you can keep spinning in your mind that, oh, I can do it by myself, I don't need nobody, I don't need no, it's team me, it's team me. Okay, well, it can be team you if that's what you choose. But over here, I won't live in a lie that I'm too friendly. I won't live in a lie that no new friends, because that's a lie. That's a tactic of the enemy to keep you isolated, to keep you from growing, to keep you, because when you align with the right people and you align in a sisterhood, what they're gonna do is push you into your next. Okay, sis, what's your game plan for this week? What you working on this week? What you need to do? Honey, these ladies over here just be pushing this little, oh, child, they be on it. When I tell you, we're on each other because we want to see each other succeed and do well and do what's right and what's within the alignment and will of God, that we encourage each other. Even when we receive the information, sometimes when people are talking, you will receive the information wrong because you're listening from a place of defense. You're not listening from a place of correction. So when you're going through that type of, when you're listening in that sense, you can't receive. So you need somebody that's gonna be like, listen, sis, hold on. Let me break it down to you like this, because this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. We
Yeah.
need to be able to, we are adults. We need to be able to have those type of conversations. We need to be able to know that it is okay. Who told you that?
Who told you that you don't need an accountability partner? Life is hard by itself.
Yes,
Life is going to cause you to second guess the very things that God has told you. Life is going to cause you to second guess the very things that you know to be true. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but guess what? Here come life. Here come
yes,
life and trying to knock you off your path. You need to be able to lean over and be like, wait a minute, I don't have it. I don't have it today. Wait a minute, I'm feeling a little weak and I'm about to bow out. I'm about to fall. I'm about to fall. Like, pray for me, help me,
yes.
do this, do that. You need people you can call on, you can depend on. And that's whatever it looks like. For some people, it may be your mama. For some
Mm-hmm.
people, you may not have a mama. It may be your sister. For some people, you may not have any sisters, any relatives. So guess what? God will send you people when you open up your mouth and ask. You have not because you ask not, boo. Ask your father. Ask your
Mm-hmm.
God, listen, I don't want to do this thing alone. I'm tired of being by myself. Come on, you sent the animals on the ark two by two. I
Yes.
need somebody. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Sometimes I feel like sometimes, as Christians, we walk this thing and we like, oh, I got Jesus. I'm going to be all right. Let me tell you something. My mama used to always say, honey, I need somebody with some meat on their bones. Okay. I need to see somebody. I need to reach out and touch. Okay. And it's nothing wrong with that, though. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. And we have to get to
Mm-hmm.
a place of being vulnerable with God. We have to get to a place of saying, God, I know what the world is telling me. I know what my feelings are telling me. I know what my emotions are telling me. But God, what do you say about me? Because who told me that? And the people who told me that, is it true? Is it true, Father? I'm coming to you. Who am I? What is this thing called life that I'm going through? Like, what's your plans for me? What's your directions for me? Where do you want me to place my foot, Father? I surrender my thoughts. I surrender my ideas. I surrender my goals and dreams. Come on, God. Like, help me. Help me in this thing. Send me the right people. Send me divine. Put me in your divine timing. That Kairos timing. Put me in your timing, God. I want to be where you are. I want to be where you are. I want to be where your people are. The people that can feed me, not for who I am, but who I'm becoming. God, help me to become more. I want to be better. I want to be better. Open up your mouth and talk to your Father. That's not
Yes,
only your Father, God. That's not only the Alpha and Omega. That's not only the beginning and the end. That's your friend. He is a wonderful counselor. He is a
yes,
wonderful counselor. Everybody can't afford therapy, but I tell you something, child. I sit right here in the dark all by myself and I talk to my Jesus. I will talk to my Jesus. I get everything I need, girl. I be coming out with all types of wisdom. And my friends be like, well, where you get that from? Jesus, God. Hello?
And
This is
Boo,
wisdom that money can't buy. This is
mm-hmm,
wisdom that money can't buy, boo. You need help. And it's
mm-hmm,
okay. It's okay to need help. You need help.
yes.
Seek your
It
Father
is okay.
while he may be found.
Yes, it is okay to lean on your sister. It is okay to lean on your brother. It is okay, but again, don't go by what they told you. Don't let those thoughts of the lies that you carried for so many years, or who they say that you was, or the characteristics that they felt like was wrong in you. Don't let that take you to where that's not your truth. Don't let that be your truth, because it doesn't have to be. It
Yeah.
could be their truth, because maybe that's where they at, but it does
Yeah.
not have to be your truth. It does not have to be your truth. You have to take the initiative to be able to, first of all, check the thoughts that you're thinking. Think about what you're thinking about, and then perceive, like, where is this? Maybe this person is not coming from a good place. Maybe this person is hurt. Maybe this person is carrying something that they're battling with internally, and they're just, again, projecting that onto me. I don't have to walk in that. I don't have to carry that. You do not have to, because who told you that?
Who
You don't
told you?
have to. Walk in your authenticity. Walk in who you are, who God says that you are. And you know what? And even if you feel like God ain't told you who you are, be the best you that you can be. How about that? What does that look like for you? What does that look like for your life? What does that look like for the people around you? What does that look like for the impact that you want to have, or the legacy that you want to build, or the generational curses that you want to break? What does that look like for you? Think about it. Who told you
And
that?
let
It doesn't have
me
to be
just
your
say this,
truth.
right? Because sometimes we do have to, sometimes people don't know that they said the wrong thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you going around thinking like, oh, this person said this, and I'm gonna just cut them off. Because ooh, so child, trust me, I used to be cutty offy. Okay, snip, snip. I used to be the type I don't give people second chances. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to done with me. You rub me the wrong way, and God had to really get with me on that, because everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. And sometimes, right, people will say stuff and they don't know that it's inappropriate. They don't know that that hurt your feelings. They don't know that, it's a better way that they could have said it, right? So sometimes God puts you in those situations, and I know this is not what you want to hear, but this is the truth. Sometimes God puts you in those situations so you can correct it.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes.
God puts you in those situations so you can go back to that person and let them know, hey, listen, I was offended by what you said, and I dare not to believe that you said it on purpose or with the intent to hurt me, but it did. And I just want you to be mindful moving forward, whether it's in conversation with me or somebody else, that they can be offended too, because at the end of the day, your projection of me is not who I am. And that's not what I was trying to give off. So sometimes we have to walk in humility a little bit. And sometimes, we have to go back to these people and let them know, like, listen, it's not okay, because so many people have got used to just being them. Oh, this is just who I am. This just how I talk. Oh, this just is no, it's not right. It's not
Mm-hmm.
right. It's not right. And I don't know what you do with everybody else, boo. Yeah. No, not with
Yeah, you
me.
know what? Whitney, that's really good because I know I can remember at one point in my life, right? I was working with a team of women, and they sometimes they used to be like, Ebony, you're harsh. Like, you're harsh. They used to tell me that I was harsh. So I took the initiative. This is me taking accountability for my own actions, right? Because if nobody's telling you that you're harsh, or maybe you come off too strong, or whatever the case may be, you feel like that's okay. So what I
Yeah.
did, I took it upon myself, and I was like, listen, I told them, I was like, I'm never gonna come from a place of maliciousness or ill intent. If I'm
Yeah.
telling you something, I'm telling you something because A, it needs to be corrected, or it's just I'm sharing my heart with you. I'm keeping it real with you, right? So
Yes.
I let them know, listen, if I say something to offend you or make you feel some type of way, check me. Check
Yeah.
me. Because if you check me, then I can fix the problem, which will be my deliverance on how I'm delivering it to you if you feel like it's too harsh, or if you feel like
Yes.
I'm too straightforward. But again, we're walking in society where nobody don't want to hear the truth. Everybody
Ooh.
wants you to sugarcoat everything. They want you
Ooh.
to fly to America and land the plane before you can even get your
Ooh.
food up. No, the truth sometimes does hurt, and you have to be okay with somebody telling you the truth and keeping it real with you. But also, like you said, their intentions. Where is this coming from? If I'm giving you truth and I'm telling you something, it's because I want to correct you to help you see the best side of you, to help you get to the best side of you, not to help to tear you down. But sometimes, I mean, it might feel like you're being torn down because maybe you need to break some of those habits, or break some of those ways, so that you can be built up and get positive reinforcement, learn some positive habits, and then set some positive boundaries. And that right there will set you free.
Baby, hold on, pause, because God knew what I was thinking, and you just whole went into it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Go ahead. Your turn.
Literally, with the calling that is on my life, with the things that God has me doing, I'm a warning. Okay, we spoken on this. I'm a warning. So sometimes, I question God, like, God, why do you use me to say these things? And sometimes I run away, I try to run away until He forces me to say these things to people, because it is things that need to be said. It is things that can save them. It is things that maybe they've been praying on, but because they might think it's themselves who, if He does give them the answer, they don't want to hear it. So sometimes God got to send you an answer through a person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally, it's already hard enough for me to say it. So when someone says that, I said something to them out of pocket or something, my tone wasn't right. I know that it wasn't me. I know that it was their hearing through, through a filter of whatever, they're going through. So recently I did that, and I know that I said the words as kind as can be because I didn't want to say it. But then this person literally said, like, then the problems and the problems started happening. The things started coming and arising. And this person told me, "You're too hard to love." Have you ever heard the song "You're Hard to Love"? You're too hard to
Mm-hmm.
love. And I know it was a dig at me because this person couldn't control me, because it couldn't, it didn't go. I started using my voice. God made me start using my voice. And because you couldn't control me or what was coming out of me, I became too hard to love.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, based off of you, what you feel and your rejection, you're hearing and seeing through your lenses of rejection. So it, like, if I didn't know who I was, if I didn't know the way that I am, if I didn't know that, I have the purest heart that you can have. I am the kindest person. My voice got a little power in it. The authority that God gave me, my presence has power. This stature, this 5'11", 6-foot stature has power in it. And it's intimidating to people, especially when I use my voice and use the words that God is telling me to say. So if I didn't know who I was, and if I didn't know that everything that I was doing was coming from a pure heart, I would have questioned myself.
Yeah.
Am I too hard to love? Am I
Yeah.
the bad person because I said what needed to be said, which wasn't anything harsh or harmful, but because you heard it through the ears of rejection? Am I really this bad person? Am I really hard to love? But it was like that literally just like slid. Like, I keep my mouth closed, But it just slid off of me like nothing because one, I know who I am. Who told you that lie so that you can try to tell me that lie to try to get in my head and try to manipulate me to thinking I'm too hard to love?
Come on.
Okay? If I didn't
Come
know
on.
who I was, if
Mhm.
I didn't know my character, I would believe it. But everyone who even comes in contact with me knows, baby, you are so easy to love. Baby, I'm the light in the room. I'm the light when you're around me. Yes, I might be quiet whatever at first, but once I open up this mouth, once I start pouring, once I start talking, you're able to see that I'm very easy to love. Everyone loves me. And because you were even able to see the love that people, give me, you tried to make me question myself and question my identity because that's how you felt about yourself. So sometimes we have to really take account of what people are going through, even in the process, even in the things that we are doing. We have to realize that they're suffering from their own trauma and that they're hearing things and they're seeing things from a filter, and they may try to project what they are going through or how they feel about themselves onto you. So we can't even take everything. We can't listen to everything that we can't listen to everything that is coming across our ears. We can't hold on to it. You can't even overthink it. You can't let it rehearse in your mind, because if you start letting it rehearse in your mind, then you start believing it. But that's not for you. That had nothing to do with you. That was a dart that they was trying to throw to project, what they were feeling onto you. So sometimes it's not even about you. It's about that person and what they're going through, what they have experienced that even makes them say and do the things that they are doing. So don't hold on. Don't rehearse those things that you even hear, because it's nothing but trying to attack you, trying to manipulate your mind. And that's not your portion. What does God say you are? Who does he say you are? Who do you know for you to be? You have to stop and realize and take into account those things, because it's not always about you. It's about them most of the time. It has nothing to do with you.
And it's just, you just said it, because you said people, like, basically the world got so used to living through a filter. The
Mhm.
world got so used to everybody sugarcoating things. The world got so used to not knowing and hearing the
True.
truth. People run from the truth, honey, but the truth should set you free.
Yes,
People don't want
baby.
to hear the truth no more because it stings. People got so used to being comforted, you know what I'm saying? That, the truth, oh, that truth hurt. That truth hurt, but the truth is what we need in order to do this thing, to keep on enduring, in order to keep on walking, in order to keep on showing up. My God, in order to keep being built, hello, you need the truth. You need the truth. And I believe that's why God is calling up and raising the remnant, honey, because the remnant is not going to sugarcoat. The remnant is not here to comfort your lies and your confusion and your secrets. We came to call you out. We came to set you free. We came to tell you the truth.
Yes. Come on. Come on. So
Period.
guess what, guys? The lies that you carry. Who told
Who
you that? Why did they
told
even
you
say
that?
that?
That's the question.
Listen, who told you that?
This was
You
good,
don't have
y'all,
to believe.
girls.
You
It's
don't
real
have to
good.
believe what you were told. You don't have to receive what you were told. You don't have to walk in what you were told. You can edit, delete, and walk in what you're supposed to walk in, not what you were told that you're supposed to walk in, not what you were told you wouldn't be, not what you were told you couldn't do. No. Who told you that?
Who
Walk
told you
through.
that?
Who told you that? Don't be believing the lies. Don't believe in the lies. Do not believe the lies. What is the truth to you? What is the truth to you? You don't have to believe what was told, what was said to you. You don't have to carry that. You don't have to walk in that burden. Listen, this was a real good episode tonight, ladies. And listen, if you just so happen to stumble across this video and you didn't get the live, you can always catch the replay on YouTube. You can always catch the replay on our Facebook pages. You can also catch it on Spotify. We do have our podcast. These episodes are loaded on Spotify. So if you're just driving in your car and you want to listen and you want to hear a good word, check it out. Spotify, we're on TikTok, we're on all the social platforms. If you need to get the replay, definitely check us out on YouTube. Please like it and share it. Please go and share and like and follow us on all of our social platforms. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate you all for tuning in. This is going to be a continuous thing. There's more to come. There's more to come because there's more to be said. There's more lives to impact. And we here at Set Free Sisterhood, we don't just talk, we break chains.
Chains.
Y'all ladies got anything to say?
Listen,
That's
just
it,
comment.
you know?
Let us know that you love it. Let us know that you're listening. Let us know that you resonated with what we're saying. Help us build this thing. Help us build this
Yes.
community. Help us to grow. Because sometimes you see people doing things and you think that they got it all figured out. We don't. We're just being obedient to what God told us to do. So help us to walk more confidently. Help us to know that you're getting fed by this. Help us to know that you're relating to this. It's making your baby leap. It's making you think new thoughts. It's making you go back and check yourself. It's making you reevaluate the things, the lies and confusion that the enemy sent your way. It's making you find who you are. It's making you do some research on you. Let us know. Let us know. Comment that. Share it. Like it. Like she said it all, child. I ain't got nothing to say. I just want to say, just comment, child. Let us know, honey. We need it. We need the feedback because sometimes we be like, you think the people like it? You think that, and not that we're worried about it because, like we said, we show up because God told us to. I'm just gonna tell you that we show up because God told us to. Because it be times right before we get on this call, we all be tired. We be like, child, please, I don't know about the day, but listen, God is like, I told you to do it. Do what I said do. So we show up and we do what thus says the Lord. So, just help us out. Help us out.
That's it.
But thank
That's
you so
all. And
much for listening.
after party on Instagram real quick. So if y'all have our Instagrams, come join us. We gonna get a little, do a little bit more, on Instagram.
All right. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday at 7 o'clock, same time, same place. Make sure you share it with a friend, a family member, somebody, because, like we said, this is a continuous thing, and we're going to continue to do what God told us to do. So you guys have a blessed and beautiful Sunday evening. Bye.
We're going to continue to break them chains.
Yes.
Set you